present are all staff and councillors who were present prior to the break. All right, so the procedure, councillors, is we will individually move the motions, the resolutions as they are presented to you. We will call for a mover and a seconder. I will then call for those who wish to speak to amend or oppose. If there is no opposition or no amendment, then I will call the vote. If there is an amendment or an opposition, I'll ask the mover should they wish to speak first, and we will formally debate each resolution on its merits. But we won't need there'll be no need for commentary if there is no opposition, is my intent. But if you have a particular need to speak about something, I'm not going to guillotine the debate, just let me know, but I won't ask everyone, does anyone wish to speak unless I have an against. So the first resolution.
Mr. Mayor, before you start on all of that, with regards to moving these motions, we asked for a look at the white plant and the 29 vehicles we're purchasing, and was that necessary? I think you wanted me out of the room. We haven't addressed that.
So it has been addressed partially, yeah.
So the discussion was it's total and we bring the schedule back to council before we move.
When was that discussed?
No, there's a discussion here that you had that day was to get that detail.
Yeah.
You will get that detail before it happens. It hasn't yet appeared. So all we're moving to adopt today is the total figure of the plant replacement, and the actual schedule will still come to council for approval when it's worked up.
Right.
But it is there.
Yeah, no, I've had a look at it.
We had to amend
the
the
discussion. I thought we'd have it today.
Yeah, we had to amend the readings on the plant part of the spreadsheet, and the years there were some anomalies in that.
But I'm still happy to discuss that when we get to that particular resolution, which it's not the first couple, so you can have some time to consider that. The first resolution is item 1.1.2, the statement of estimated financial position. Do I have a mover that we receive the estimate for the 30th of June? Councillor Plum. Seconder, Councillor Arthur. Is there any opposition? Those in favour? 7-0. Agenda item resolution 1.1.3, the debt policy. Do I have a mover for council to adopt the debt policy as shown in attachment 2? Councillor Gleeson. Is there a seconder? Councillor Hanson. Is there any opposition? Put it to the vote. Those in favour? Resolution carried 7-0. Resolution 1.1.4, the investment policy. Council, do I have a mover that we adopt the investment policy shown in attachment 3 with that addition as was proposed this morning, that the rating agency, that be added to this resolution, that the rating agency be Standard and Poor's. Councillor Plum, you happy to move that? Councillor Hanson seconds. Any opposition? Those in favour? 7-0. Resolution 1.1.5, the revenue policy. Shown in the minutes it will be, and it's in your attachment as attachment 4. Do I have a mover for council to adopt the revenue policy for 23-24? Councillor Plum, second, Councillor Hanson. Those in favour? 7-0. All right, differential general rate categories. Detailed resolution here with many words. It's presented. Do I have a mover? Councillor Gleeson, seconded Councillor Arthur. Opposition? Those in favour? 7-0. Resolution 1. 1.7. Do I have a mover? Councillor Hanson, seconded Councillor Plum. Debate. This councillors, just to remind you, this is the actual cents in the dollar that we are levying it, so effectively the 6% rise across the board. Those in favour? 7-0. 1.1.8, minimum general rates. This is a setting for those areas of minimum general for all rating categories. So the minimum that we will pay for all parcels of land defined in these categories. Do I have a mover? Councillor Arthur, a seconder. Councillor Rogers. Those in favour? 7-0. 1.1.9, utility charges. And this is all utilities, councillors. Do I have a mover? Councillor Plum, second. Councillor Hanson. Is there debate on any particular line item in water, sewerage or waste utility charges? Those in favour? 7-0. The special charge, Muttaburra Rural Fire Brigade. Using budget paper number 10. Do I have a mover? Councillor Peoples, the second of Councillor Gleeson. Is there discussion or debate? Those in favour? 7-0. Resolution 1.1.11. Lots of ones. Do I have a mover, please, for the rate payment dates and the date for early payment for discount? Yes, I do. Councillor Hanson. Councillor Arthur, second. Debate? Those in favour? 7-0. You're in favour, Councillor?
Yes,
1.12, the rates, interest on overdue rates and charges. For the record, councillors, remember this is a significant increase in accordance with section 133 of the Local Government Act. That interest will apply at a rate of 11.64% per annum. Do I have a mover? Councillor Rogers, seconded Councillor Plum. Debate or opposition? Those in favour? 7-0. Resolution 1.1.13. Concessions. Do I have a mover for the concessions listed in A and B? Councillor Plumman and seconded Councillor Peoples. Is there discussion or debate? Those in favour? 7-0. Agenda item, resolution 1.1.14, the revenue statement. And I have somebody move that we adopt the revenue statement 23-24 shown as attachment 5. Councillor Arthur moves, Councillor Peoples seconds. Is there discussion or debate? Those in favour? Councillor Peoples. Thank you. 7-0. The levelling of pest animal bounties for 23-24, as is outlined, for wild dogs at 30, cats at 5 and foxes at 5, excluding of GST. Do I have a mover to adopt that for this year? Councillor Hanson, seconded Councillor Gleeson. Is there debate or discussion? Those in favour? 7-0. This resolution formally recognises the changes in rates and utility charges, so this rate has been agreed to already. This resolution is an acknowledgement by Council of that change. The resolution 1.1.16, do I have a mover? Councillor Gleeson, seconded Councillor Arthur. Is there discussion or debate? Those in favour?
Just discussion, please, Mr. Mayor.
Sorry, yes.
6.19, and we've got 8% on waste. Does that need to be?
Through the chair. No, that is a reflection. This is a reflection on the overall change in our income in rate from rates and charges.
Right. Thank you, Mr. Meek.
Further questions? I'll recall the vote. Those in favour? 7-0. The fees and charges schedule 23-24 as amended this morning. Assist me with that. I think the charge for horses was amended down as presented from $6.50 to $6, and camping fees will revert to those charged in the 23-22 annual budget.
And we reviewed, and a review will be undertaken in the off season for those, and also the airport charges are to be reviewed and brought back to council.
Thank you. Do I have a move to council for the fees and charges schedule effective 1 July? Councillor Beeple, seconded Councillor Plum. Is there any further debate or discussion? Those in favour? Resolution carries 7-0. Resolution 1.1.18, the 23-24 financial statements, as outlined in attachment 16, which is both the statement of income and expenditure, statement of financial position, the statement of cash flows, and the statement of changes in equity. Do I have a mover to adopt those statements, please? Councillor Gleeson, and it is seconded Councillor Hanson. Is there discussion or debate? Just want to point out, as we've been at pains to point out this morning, it is certainly the expectation, given clear official correspondence, not just media statements, that the federal assistance grant will be paid 100% up front the year in advance. That will have a significant change in cash flow and financial position as of 30th of June for each of the years that are forecast. However, it will be still, it's all relative and static, so you can extrapolate that out yourself, and it won't have a material change to our revenue, but it definitely has a material change to our cash and cash position. Is that right, Dean?
As at the
30th of June. Yes. Revenue for the year will remain largely unaffected because we had budgeted to receive the FAGs, the Federal Assistance Grant, at some point during that year. The fact that it's been received up front really only impacts on our cash and cash position. So we fully expected the first quarter review to grossly re-estimate those areas of this, but the impact on revenue and expenditure will be negligible, if at all. Certainly the first year. Okay.
Mr. Mayor, with the council adopt the following statements for the 23-24, 24-25, 25-26 financial years. Have we always adopted 3 years like that in the past?
We are required to by...
We are required to now.
We have in the past as well.
We have. We just haven't itemized it as well.
Sorry, Shane.
We just haven't made it as clear.
Okay.
This is not the... you asked a question earlier, Councillor, about how bound we are to the capital works. This is a different document altogether. And... Sorry.
Same principle.
Same principle. It can change as well, but we are required to adopt 3 years worth of figures for those four statements. As rubbery as a grade 2 eraser.
Next one to be one for adopting.
Can I call the vote, please? Those in favour? 7-0. Resolution 1.19, the 2023-24 budget documents. The resolution is that we adopt the following budget documents: the operating revenue and expenditure statement by program, outlined in 17A, the budget of capital works as outlined in attachment 17B, the budget of operating projects as is outlined in 17C, the long-term financial forecast outlined in 17D, and the measures of financial sustainability as outlined in attachment 17E. I will move that we do that, please. Do I have a seconder? Councillor Plum. I will leave with some brief commentary here. Outlined in some of these budget statements are projects that Council has still yet to reaffirm its total support for. However, due to expediency and budget planning processes, they have been included. They may or may not have full or total or partial support. In both the capital works, where we're looking at some master planning options, as well as in the plant replacement, there's still some individual decisions that may be made, including the acquisition of new plant. The budget documents is certainly indicate a very clear position in each of those 5 working papers where Council expects to be, but there still may be at our individual quarterly reviews, as well as in between. Council certainly is reserving its right to amend its support for some or all of those projects, but they have been clearly identified in the formation of the budget with officers, and councillors will monitor that as we proceed forward. I do also want to point out that whilst historically low own source revenue councils have had some real difficulty in agreeing with the measures of financial sustainability that the local government department and hence the state put on us, it is what we've been required to work towards, and for the first time we're seeing less and less red, if you're viewing it in a colour format, or less and less negative ratings in our financial sustainability. It is the single budget paper that I personally, as a councillor with all of you, am the most proud of. We have realistically, yes, some would argue through good fortune, through things like FAG's methodology review, flood damage, we've been in a position where we have been able to restore, but we could have wasted that. We could have spent that on things that didn't need to be spent on. We could have, and so in some cases there are projects that have proceeded that individual councillors may not have necessarily thought were warranted, but collectively we have put ourselves in a position where within 2 and maybe 1 budget cycle we will be handing down operating surpluses for the foreseeable future and funding depreciation. If you're doing the pair of them things, whilst there will be still some pain and tinkering around the edges and a heavy reliance on grant funding, or chiefly federal assistance grants, at least we've set a bedrock for council to pay down its debt, eliminate that dead weight, and be in a position where we can either borrow for significant investments long term and spread that over generations of ratepayers, or fund from cash, which currently we're very limited in our ability to do. So the measures of financial sustainability, whilst they have been contentious, they are uniform in their application against the state and across the state, and I think this council, you councillors, have done a terrific job in putting us in a situation where there's less red and no negatives, and whatever transpires on the 16th of March next year, that council will be in a vastly improved position compared to some of our compatriots, and indeed even compared to where we were 3.5 years ago. So as I said in my opening statement, and I've been big with words today, but I'm very proud of this document, and in particular that document and this budget as a whole. But I preface that there will be some tweaking of programs within these statements because council has already very clearly foreshadowed its reservations about 1 or 2 areas. And I just want to make that clear that those councillors who've done that throughout this process, we will be monitoring that very closely as we move through quarter 1 and quarter 2. I'll now call for further comments. Councillor Beck.
Mr Mayor, I just want to make the comment and add to what you've just said, in that I think we have been very diligent, but I really think that the turnaround that we've seen without having to make any cuts with regard to our own employment and also keeping all of our contractors working, I think that's a very important fact, that we are keeping all of our staff numbers up, and we've also done a pretty fair job of keeping our contractors and their wheels turning too. So the results we've witnessed, and still doing that, I think that's a big positive for us.
That be there. Councillor Robbins, have you got any comments? That's fun.
Oh, Mr Mayor, I just think that we've all worked together and you've led the way a lot of the times, and I think we can't thank you for what you've helped us as councillors get there in this position. You know, you've guided us along the way, you've told us everything we needed to know. I just think it's just been a big team effort.
Thank you for your kind words, but I agree with the team effort. I think collectively we've all had, whilst individual projects might have differing support, the goal for a sustainable council has been front and centre of 7 out of 0, whether it's the training individual councillors have taken and bring that skill set back to the room, or their individual consultation has been great. Councillor Harper, any comments?
Other than, well, especially with some of the changeovers in the key positions leading into this budget, the officers and councillors have done a pretty good job.
Councillor Hanson.
Through you, Mr Mayor, I'd just like to put it out to the officers, because without the information they give us, we make our job a lot harder than what it really is. So I'm going to put it out to them for giving us the correct information, the good information to work with.
Councillor Gleeson.
Thanks, Mr Mayor. No, I agree totally with Councillor Hanson. In the last few months, the officers have been able to give us, I believe, more correct and more accurate information for us to be able to make a decision. And we do work together as a team, and I thank you very much for your leadership, and I'm happy to be part of it.
Thank you. Councillor Gleeson, have you got anything further to add? People, sorry. I'll call the vote on the 23-24 budget. Those in favour? 7-0.
Can I just add, on behalf of the staff, myself and senior, but all, just the opportunity to work with council where we can have those full and frank discussions where councillors are more than happy to ask questions, and from a staff perspective to actually not be afraid to own their decisions and have that good dialogue. I think we've had a very good 3 or 4 months of robust discussions, and I think the budget that council collectively has put together puts you in a good platform for the next 12 months. So on behalf of the staff, thanks for the contributions, and let's continue those good debates.
Dan, last word, and thanks, I'll give you the last word, but definitely understand, I think we all are aware, without having understood, because we aren't doing it like you are, but thank you very much for putting your shoulder to the wheel, virtually at times on your own, but certainly with a very small team to put together this budget for us, and we look forward to working as a team now to make sure it all gets carried through as best we can. Have you got anything?
Yeah, thanks, Mr Mayor. I suppose I wouldn't have got the documents together like I did without the support of Sarah. She's come on board quite late in the piece and certainly been a good asset to the organisation, but also the organisation wider, EMT and the DMs, the asset manager as well, Bob, for their contribution. We did take on a number of changes to the process to budgeting this year, and largely the organisations run with those and pick to provide the information that we got today. So thanks to the organisation for their support in the budget process. And as the CEO said, councillors, thanks for your involvement and your engagement in the process, asking those tough questions, but also hearing the comments that we have to say as well. So thank you.
Very good. I declare the meeting closed at 11 a.m.